Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of A&W podcast.
Afternoon, guys. How are you?
I'm your host A.D.E, Mr. Africans Do Everything.
And I'm Wale, also known as Walls.
Yes, so today we're gonna be discussing about growing up in Brixton. For most of you that don't know about me and my brother, well, originally we came from Nigeria, and when we landed in UK, they landed us in Brixton. Bam!
Yes.
And there was no blueprint of how to survive in Brixton. There was no plans of what to do on how to be a survivor in Brixton. But we ride it
A soldier.
like a soldier. Well, one of the first thing that I noticed about Brixton back then, the Brixton right now is more mellow. Brixton back then was more dangerous, and you have to prove yourself. And being an African boy coming all the way to a new land and a new location, there's some things that you have to do. You have to you have to reset your thinking because it's different from where you're coming from.
Yes.
Do you agree to that?
Definitely. I mean, not even just Brixton, growing up in South London is something that is quite interesting. I mean, we're speaking of early 90s, mid 90s, so 93 to 96. And this was the time that, yes, Brixton was Brixton. And that's all I would say on that.
Yes, it was dangerous for me. And one of the things that I noticed about the area is that you have to prove yourself.
Yes.
And me, I didn't know anything about having fights or being bullied or getting into fights. My first fight in Brixton was a bit like, it was quick. I got knocked out quickly. So and I didn't know how to react and I didn't know how to respond. So I kept quiet, and I always tried to tend to go get my older brother, but he was not always around. He was actually busy making money. So I kept quiet until this bro of mine came here, and then he had his own experience. So you wanna touch about that?
Yes, when I came, I literally came and I just got dropped in Angel Town. One of my first experiences, which I know for a fact a lot of you will be able to relate to, is knockdown ginger. You know, when they come to your door, knock your door and run off? Yeah, it was happening a lot those days. And one of my experiences, I caught a young boy, school kid, knocked the door, chased after him, and I told him off. Within 2 hours, I had like a group of guys knocking on my door. And the boy, as soon as I opened the door, the boy said, yes, he punched me in my face. To my surprise, I know for a fact I didn't punch him. Before I knew what was happening, I was taken outside and the boy punched me in my face. I thought, wow, so this is how it is in London. So I went and got my older brother, thinking, yeah, I can't wait till I punch this guy back, doing my punching practice. And then, surprisingly, my elder brother came there, went and spoke to the other guy's older brother, and to my surprise, I was quite disappointed. I was thinking, why did my brother not let me punch him back? But the point I'm making out of that is, that was one of the earliest lessons I learned in the hood, is it's not always about using your fist. Sometimes what you say, the message can get to the intended target. And just to let you guys know, after my brother spoke to these people, we actually became friends.
Yeah.
And that's how it is in the hood.
But the thing about growing up in Brixton is that you have to be able to be tough.
Yes.
You have to have that tough persona about yourself.
Yes.
And it took us Africans boys it took us a long while before we realized that, because we were just thinking, why are these people just running around and getting us into trouble and everything like that.
And just on that subject, when we say Africans, we're not necessarily speaking about the ones that their parents born and raised them here. We're more speaking about the ones that got brought over here. As the term used to go then, fresh off the boat.
Fresh off the boat, yes. I was fresh off the boat, and I was definitely alienated because you can see the African in me, and I got a lot of bullies, even when it went to school as well, talking about school, like there's always this separation and segregation between the Caribbeans and the Africans, and the Caribbeans seems they're always the tougher ones because we are fresh, so we don't know how
The
rules,
system works.
the system works.
You know?
But it got to a stage in my life that I started to take no for an answer and saying no, I'm not gonna get bullied today, and I started retaliating, and the school period, I managed myself. I didn't get too much bully, but then it comes to growing up in the street.
Yes.
When you go older and you start going to the street and start making new friends, there are things that you're gonna step into. My first experience having beef in Brixton was with a couple of dudes that apparently they took one of my cousin's chain, and I tried to like get the chain back, and they actually attacked me, and that attack really started the way of me getting aggressive and also responding back to defending myself. You understand? Like it used to get to a stage that I would see them on road, they will attack me. If I'm with people, we will see them on road, we will retaliate back. So this beef was going on for almost 5 years. You understand?
Yeah.
And it was getting to a stage that it was getting really, really serious. You understand? And luckily, this young man over here.
I mean, to kind of like summarize what we're kind of pointing out with this is, with the issue that's currently going on with young black boys,
Yes.
and a lot of the epidemic as we're seeing it unfold, it's not something new. It's always been there.
Yeah.
But I would say personally, we had the right guidance in place. We had the right family support system in place. And one of the major things that I felt helped us was my father being active and being present in the picture.
Yeah.
Because I felt like that was something that currently is lacking. And when I say lacking, it's not necessarily about the father figure being there, but it's more a case of the father being active in terms of being involved in the children, be it a boy, a girl, being active in their life, regardless of what the situation between the dad and the mom is.
And also, with my mom's side, is that she made us bring our friends into the premises.
Yes.
So she knows who our friends were.
Yes.
And then instead of us going outside and doing shenanigans, she made us stay indoors and just. We actually abused our mom's house. We had so much boys inside the house that we were just like, and also we had a big garden, so we just came chill in the garden. So there was no issue of us going outside and causing trouble or starting trouble. And one of the things that I also noticed is that like it's easily for people, for boys to get influenced into joining this gang or street.
As we call it.
Yes. One thing I'm gonna say to you as a young person, the street will give you what you want. It will give you money. It will give you girls. It will give you cars. You'll be a drug. You will give you drug. But one of the main thing that will also promise you is that it's either you go to jail or somebody end up. I don't even want to say the word because there's so many young people that we have seen growing up that have lost their life to the streets trying to be somebody
That they are not.
that they're not. And I'm talking about people that we've also sat down with and advised them, because a lot of people used to look at us back then that how did we survive in Angel Town?
And just to clarify on that, my father and my mother, or should I say our father and mother, raised 5 young black boys in Angel Town.
Yes.
And none of us went to jail.
Mm-hmm.
All of us are graduates. None of us, not once we had the police come in to raid our parents' house.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is something that we need to start addressing now, because it's becoming an issue where parents are clearly either not doing their job or they don't actually know how to go about doing their job. So one of the things that we'll be speaking on our next episode to kind of elaborate on this topic is our experiences of being parents, some of the challenges that we've faced, and how we've made up our mind to still be involved regardless of what the challenges or the issues might be.
Yes, yes. Putting on to that, like, what kind of advice would you give to young ones nowadays regarding being invited and involved in a gang?
Well, I mean, that is quite a delicate subject because it's not just a case of being invited or being involved in gang. It's more a case of what is the structure, what's the foundation that's been in place, and how we can put things in place to kind of like deter them from that lifestyle. Because one of the major things that people fail to realize with this whole gang life is an addiction. And what is the root of addiction? That's one of the subjects that we will need to closely look into and try to identify ways to reduce or to deter them from being addicted to it in the first place.
And another thing that I want to touch on is that London is a small place. You understand?
Yes.
The beef that I was going through for almost 5 years. Can you believe how small the London is? Me and this person that we used to have fights every day regularly, we end up working in the same place.
Imagine.
This guy is standing in front of me and I'm serving him food. I'm selling people that I used to have fight like proper beef, proper beef. That's how small the world is. So if you think that you will get away, or they will come, one day will come that you guys will be facing each other, and then how is that gonna be improved? So it's also good to make peace with whoever you're dealing with, because my situation, my guy came to me and apologized to me and said, you know what, let's squash this. Some people be like, nah, I must get mine back. When I agreed to squash, my life has been peaceful.
Yes.
And I'm not gonna lie to you, I used to be scared to walk around in Brixton by myself when this was going on. My mom told me, let's go to the market, and I used to be scared to walk with my mom in the street of Brixton. You understand? And she said, I will protect you. I said, Mom, you don't know how deep my situation was, growing up back then. But I'm glad that we can be able to use this as an experience to educate and also to advise people.
Yes.
So if you have, don't think because you say no, you are a weakling. Don't think because you don't think because you back down, you're a loser. No. Because we could be telling a different story. You could go and stand up to them and they do something to you, and then you end up either in hospital or 6 feet underground. I'm glad that none of my family or my friends I can be able to relate to their stories, because everybody's still alive and doing well in their life.
Yeah.
But the struggle put us through a lot that we have to learn. So that's why we want to use this podcast to be able to advise and also encourage people that yes, you might live in the most dangerous part, but you can still make something good out of yourself. And out of the neighborhood, that we've seen people that have been successful.
Yes. I mean, to touch on that, we want to change the narrative that get put out there in regards to growing up in the ends. Yeah. As we're speaking, myself and my brother, we both grew up in Brixton, Angeltown, and we're both graduates. I know many people that are graduates in Angeltown. I know footballers, musicians that are doing great things. So hopefully with this platform, we'll be able to showcase some of this talent. We'll be able to give examples of some of these people to make you guys understand that not everything that comes from the hood is negative. So on that subject, my name is WALE.
And my name is A.D.E. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to our page so that we can see you. And leave your comments, because we would like to read your comments. And if you have any issues and you want to ask us questions about how to go about situations, we are down for that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Take care, guys. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.